Hey everybody, this is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to breaking news in the baseball world with Mark Everett Kelly, the two-time Emmy Award winner. And Mark knows all sports: baseball, hockey, football. But we're going to talk about baseball here. Major League Baseball just announcing a new 3-year deal with their new media packs, forming a new 3-year media rights agreement with Netflix, NBC Universal, and ESPN. Netflix will show the opening night between the Yankees and Giants. They'll show the Home Run Derby on July 13th. Also, the Field of Dream games between the Phillies and Twins on August 13th. Of course, Sunday Night Baseball will now return to NBC for the first time since 2000. Mark was not bad looking. Now he's whatever. And then they have the wild card games Sunday lead off on Peacock, 2000 All Star Week coverage, and ESPN will show 30 games package each season on ESPN platforms. This is big news for Major League Baseball. What would you say, especially with them coming back to NBC Sports Network?
Yeah, like I said, we were joking around. All they're missing is, Vince Scully and Joe Garagiola.
And I hear Bob Costas will be doing
the studio show. But him and Tony Kubek, they were the B team, if you remember.
Yeah, and Tony Kubek was here for the Blue Jays as well.
Wow, how about that? All right, so all I know is whatever I'm paying for Peacock, ESPN, it's all going to go up. Netflix, it's already starting to price out people. ESPN really screwed people with their WWE thing. Their Hulu and Disney package went almost to $30, and it's just the greed is killing me. And I think when I see them involved, now I know I work for them and there's a place in my heart for them, but what led to the firing of so many of the people who were my bosses was them signing these deals with pro networks. With baseball, with football.
You're in the States, okay? So take us through. We're in Canada. We get sports that we get covered from ESPN and all that. When you say paying for the WWE, paying for Major League Baseball and all that, so ESPN used to be a staple of cable TV. Let's put it that way. There's ESPN and all that. Did they take it away from free basic cable and you have to pay for a premium subscription?
Yeah, well, I remember when they were making ESPN when it was part of your basic cable package, okay? And then they started to introduce ESPN2, ESPN Classic, ESPN News, and they wanted all that to be part of the basic cable package. And people didn't necessarily need. I mean, ESPN News, I worked on it for 3 years, okay? We were the ones who, when they expanded it, when me and Brian Kenny are doing the hot list from 1 to 4 p.m., we were the main part of that show. So I know what it's like and appreciate it, but ESPN got way too big for themselves. Then when they started to get into getting all these, Major League Baseball and NFL. Remember, early on, ESPN, they had sports nobody really wanted. They had early NCAA tournament games before CBS wound up buying them out. They had some NBA games because remember, in the 70s, nobody watched the NBA. It was on tape delay. They were the first to really take advantage of Jordan and Bird and Magic.
Well, everybody knew ESPN from, one of the shock guys, Chris Berman, right?
Yeah, and his nicknames and everything.
And only some, and this is, I don't know if it's bad on ESPN. There's only a couple people, and I'm one of them, who preferred Mark Everett Kelly. All right, he was working, and he's a two-time Emmy Award winner, and I'm not saying this because we have you here on the Fired Up Network, but how many people would know that you won the Emmy Award twice?
I think Chris Berman's got me beat.
Well, Chris Berman, Chris Berman and me have I taught him everything he knows and everything like that. Like Don Cherry, he comes to me and asks me, well, what do I think about this and all, and I give him pointers. Chris Berman too, and Chris Berman, to his credit, he listened to me because I say throw in some Canadian football, throw in some Grey Cup, throw in, and he did, and Chris Berman, honestly, nobody circles the wagon.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they never played the 49ers in the Super Bowl despite all those years.
I wanted that. And by the way, again, think about what did you just say? They never played the 49ers. Well, here's the best chance they have. The Super Bowl 60, my birthday, February 8th. By the way, you're going to get me a present. Happens to be where? In Santa Clara, the home of the 49ers. How apropos. Chris Berman had it right all along. They don't have to play the San Francisco 49ers. They just have to play in their hometown. Buffalo wins the Super Bowl on my birthday. Imagine what's going to happen. Well, also imagine if they lose again on my birthday. Then, Mark, you'll be a wanted man all over the world. Put it that way.
Well, I think when he picked the 49ers and Bills play every year, they just never wind up playing. Yeah. Even though the Niners made it, how many times, and the Bills made it how many times, they never played.
Niners, Cowboys. Yeah. And to our credit, early in the 90s, Bills, they're the only team 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. Major League Baseball, Stanley Cup, Super Bowls, Larry O'B championship games. There's never going to be a team to make 4 straight Super Bowls or 4 straight championship games. And also, I'll throw it in, never in the history again will be they make 4 straight championship games and probably lose. All right, so the odds are
3 of those games, 3 of those Super Bowls, the Niners lost in a championship game. Otherwise, they would have played them. Yeah. You had the Chris Barr kick. You had the game at San Francisco where Jerry Rice got called for that penalty early on that would have really made the difference in that game. Then you had them getting blown out when Jim Johnson said he guarantees them winning. Maybe it'll happen this year. But what really changed is when ESPN started paying for those baseball and hockey and football, and then they wind up having to put that in the budget and firing so many of their employees, which were a lot of my bosses, around 2013, 2014. I remember having a couple of my bosses on for a podcast that I did back then in 2015. And that's when they really started to push the morning shows and the Stephen A. Smiths and the Max Kellermans of the world. And that's when they got really heavily into that. And I think that's too when they really started to. Now, I like Stephen A. Smith. Okay, I got a lot of respect for him. Kellerman's a guy I don't like because he's a jerk.
And why is that?
He's a jerk. That's why.
But what makes him a jerk?
But you got to know him. Yeah, I've had interactions with him. Right? Okay. Yeah, I mean.
And Stephen A.
That's
Smith
what I think of him. If there are people that like him, I don't like him.
And Stephen A. Smith's not a jerk?
No, Stephen A. Smith's a good guy. He really is. I had a good friend that worked on, quite frankly. There's persona he puts into, his show, but off the camera, he's a great guy. He does a lot of things for his staff and people. And he's really knowledgeable. I mean, the guy knows his stuff. And he has the desire to learn too. If he doesn't know about something, he'll take time out to learn about it.
At the beginning of this show, you mentioned the WWE deal. I'm well known in every sport here, but how specific is that WWE deal? You're a WWE fan.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question about you can't see him, John Cena. You called me up too late. I was going to give you a pair of tickets to see Madison Square Garden, and you would drive back and forth due to Bobby Ledbetter. He would give you a car there and all that. But what do you think of this new WWE ESPN deal?
Yeah, well, I think it just screws a lot of people with the amount because you used to be able to get ESPN with Hulu and Disney, and then they raised that, and people still thought, okay, there was a base package you can get for ESPN that didn't come with any of the games that people care about, the college football. Now that they have the SEC and Major League Baseball, and they're like, okay, now do I have to pay extra again with ESPN just to get something I should already have on their basic package? And you do. So I know over the weekend I wanted to watch Alabama, and $29 for the ESPN app, which comes with Disney and Hulu again, but too much money. Too much money.
And here's the other thing about the WWE. First of all, we have Netflix internationally. You could get it Netflix here for $9. Okay, $9. But don't forget the key thing when the WWE made their WWE Network was $9.99, $9.99, $9.99. Now it's not $9.99. No. It's $2,999, $2,999. So like even the fans are getting screwed.
Yeah. Now I remember the WWE Network when it first came out was great, but all their stuff is on Peacock, and now you're going back and forth between Peacock and ESPN, so you pay. Now Peacock is good; they got some good shows, but look, I thought that the individual odd things were good, but I'm paying way more now for the Netflix, for Paramount, for Amazon. If I want to watch a sports game, is it on Amazon? Is it on the NFL Network? Is it on Paramount? Is it on ESPN?
But I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to tell you, and I'm being very serious with this. We may not be carrying live sports, which I'm trying to work on getting some more live sports, but the commentary on the Fired Up Network with Mark Everett Kelly, with John Freeman Nelson, with Carmen Asako, with myself, with Norm Womack, it's superb. Right, and one of these days I'm going to put Mark Everett Kelly with, Norm and with all these guys. Last time we were on, we had Lloyd Mosby and some players. But I'm sure you'd like to do shows with Tracy Murray. I like,
sure.
But I told you I'm going to ask you this because you're a big wrestling fan as well, and we never talk wrestling because you don't want to talk wrestling.
No, I would. You never asked me.
Yeah. Okay, it's John Cena. He's basically a month away now. All right. Who would you pair him up in the final match with in Washington, D.C., Saturday night's main event, December 13th?
Who would I pair him up with? I think the Viper.
That's a good choice. Do you want to know who they're going to have? And there's a tournament
with The Rock.
On. Do you want to know who it's going to be?
Well, yeah.
Did you watch Monday Night Raw?
No, I didn't.
Monday. See? It's going to be, and remember, John Cena took the Intercontinental title for the first time from Dominic Mysterio. So, I'm telling you, I could see it. I don't know. This is not inside information. I'll give you inside information, but this is not inside information, but I could see long-term because I booked the shows. It's going to be Sheamus. Sheamus winning the Intercontinental title for the first time also from John Cena, who won it from Dominic Mysterio for the first time. How apropos. Sheamus and him are best friends. Yeah. Sheamus is best friends of Triple H. Sheamus, John Cena. That's what it could be Gunther.
Yeah. But he wouldn't fit. I mean, you need a guy that's been around for a long time. But they should really do like a four-way match. Heck, Triple H can come back, and The Rock. We'll have Shawn Michaels come back too. Undertaker, we'll put them all in there.
And everything like that. Okay, so we're talking about wrestling, but we'll get back to baseball in a second. But big last couple weeks, months, Hollywood Hulk Hogan passing away. Yeah. I know you were a Hulkamaniac. You ripped your shirt and everything. You were 2 years old. You wanted to show your mom all the muscles, and she slapped you around. What muscles? All right. So what did you think of Hogan?
I'll tell you about that though.
Yeah. What do you think of Hogan passing?
Hogan passing again was sad for everybody. What I think a lot of people started to realize later is that he had stretched the truth on some stories. Kind of lost his credibility a little bit. And I think that negatively affected him.
Yeah, but Hogan, in your estimation, is Hogan the best wrestler there was?
No, I mean, skill-wise, he was horrible. I mean, he basically would have 5-minute matches. He couldn't really go lengthy. He wasn't like a Ricky Steamboat or like a
So who
Ric
was your
Flair.
favorite?
My favorite wrestler of all time
Yeah.
Was, well, I mean, Steamboat was one of them. But
No. I didn't ask you who
no,
are your
the
favorites.
Viper. I
So
like
give
the
me
Viper.
one.
I like the Viper. I like Randy Orton.
You like Randy Orton.
Yep.
So
And
I'm
I
going to
like
bring
his
him on
dad a
the
little bit,
show.
but his dad.
Would you take an RKO out of nowhere from him?
I would.
Would he break your nose if he did it?
Yeah.
All right. So getting back to Major League Baseball as we close this out, breaking news here. Major League Baseball, by the way, as you know, the Dodgers won the World Series, beating the Blue Jays, which Blue Jays should have won that. But you asked me before, New York Mets famed closer, who you're going to come out to play the trumpet. Is he coming to the Blue Jays? And what did I tell you?
That he is. 4 years, $82 million. I mean, come on.
It looks like they're very close to signing him. It looks like Blue Jays are in it for Houston Astros pitcher Valdez. So they Boba didn't accept $22 million offer, but that's what people expected because Boba is going to sign an 8-year, probably $250-300 million deal.
Yeah.
So and Boston wants him. Everybody wants him. But if I asked you this, what day's today? November 21st, something like that. If I asked
November
you,
19th, yeah.
okay. So if I asked you, who is your World Series for 2026?
Who's my World Series for 2026? I'm gonna say the Tigers.
Nah, the Tigers against who?
The Tigers against the Cubs.
Once again, Mark Everett Kelly. He may be a two-time Emmy Award winner, but he's also a garbage award winner because there's no chance that's going to happen. Detroit against the Cubs.
Yeah, and that great pick. Okay, but if it happens,
all right. If it happens, I'll give you 1 week of controlling Fired Up Network.
So we got to wait to see who signs who and what happens.
No. We're not waiting. You put it online here, worldwide television. You said Detroit and Chicago, both teams will maybe not make the playoffs. All right.
Right.
All right. Tell everybody about your great sponsors. And by the way, next week's Thanksgiving week, and I told you, let's hope we can get both of them or one of them on here for the start of the holiday season. Thanksgiving holiday season and everything like that. And maybe he could give me food there and say, look, if you mention Mark Everett Kelly for you get 500 and Mark Everett Kelly of Fired Up Network, you get $501 off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll be able to do like we're doing a show here in a couple of minutes where you'll be able to see some of the high school kids and some of the coaches. Bobby Ledbetter is one of my sponsors. He probably would be willing to come on and do an interview. I don't know about Miles. He's a little shy. Doesn't really like the publicity. But Miles owns the Cattle Stampede here where we're going to do a podcast in a couple minutes. And this is where some of the high school teams come and they get to eat. And then we got to interview the kid and get publicity. And it's really fun for me. It's fun for them. The restaurant is a buffet and it caters to middle-class families. So it offers really great prices. And Miles is a great guy who does so much for the community. And a community-owned business. That's really, I'm so blessed to have their support. And Bobby owns Twin City Auto Sales, which again, car dealerships are really probably not popular, but Bobby and his staff really go out of their way to make you feel welcome and sit down and talk to you about what you need. They're not going to say things you don't need. They're not going to, play the prices right and, give you a bunch of items that you can bid on. And once you buy from them, you buy for life. Now, with Bobby, you mention my name, you get $500 off. Not in that $1,000 class yet, but getting there. And here you get 10% off. And trying to push, what we do is great. It takes a while to really show the impact that I'm having in getting out the message and in publicizing them. But I think you've really helped a lot. every time we do a show, you ask me to talk about them, and that's great. And I think for the community, as I get better known and doing this longer, it's starting to have it.
All right, well, that's and then bring those two guys on here, even though he's shy and all that. Don't worry, he's talking to the president of the province of Canada, and I need a guy like a vice president, and Bobby Ledbetter, perfect guy when I run for the mayor of Hong Kong, perfect guy to be my vice president of Hong Kong, and Miles, another perfect guy to I'm starting my own Ponderosa. Right,
Yeah.
perfect guy to put the manager of
posse, right?
Yeah, Ponderosa, where they
Ponderosa was the place where they was that what was the name of that with Michael Landon and Haas and
and by the end of this show, I'm going to tell you this right now. Mark Everett Kelly, the 2-time Emmy Award winner, will be Boss Hog. All right, he'll eat there, and Roscoe P. Coltrane and everything like that.
And the dog. What was the dog's name?
Yeah, was it Roscoe? No, Roscoe was the other guy. I don't know. Don't ask me these questions. Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's breaking news here on the Fired Up Network. Thanks to Mark Everett Kelly. Enjoy. If I don't talk to you guys, have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. And let's see next week we could bring the sponsors on there and me talking to President of Province of Canada and maybe getting free food for me, but delivered to Canada. Mark will take one of those big time cars that Bobby has and drive all the way to Canada and not leave Canada because he's a wanted man in Canada also. Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Mark.